Okay, right. Now, after you enter supplier invoices, you can view your supplier invoices here. You can view supplier name, document number, supplier invoices, date, due date. And if you enter any anticipated payment date, you can view the anticipated payment date. Okay, last session we have completed up to supplier invoices. Now today we will start from that additional features in the supplier invoices. First, after you enter supplier invoices, you can view this grid, and if you want, you can sort by clicking these headings, and you can sort by ascending or descending order. And you can customize this grid by clicking this customize grid button and select customize grid. And you can select required columns. You can tick required columns. And if you want to remove any column from this grid, you can untick that column name. After that, save, then ticked column will show in this grid. And also you can export this grid to CSV file by clicking this CSV. And if you want to sort by multi-column, for an example, first you want to sort by customer, sorry, supplier name. Next, you want to sort by balance. Like that. If you want to add more columns, you can add from add levels and you can sort. Like this, you can sort. Furthermore, if you want to filter, you can filter by dated today, dated this month, due date, like that, or overdue invoices, paid invoices, unpaid invoices, like that. You can filter your supplier invoices. And also you can view how many invoices you have entered from here. Now here 152 supplier invoices entered. You can view from here. And each page has 10 supplier invoices. By navigating these pages, you can go to that supplier invoice. Okay, now here sometimes you can see this this calendar marks in orange color. That is because we have entered anticipated payment dates. Okay, we will discuss these and other options in supplier invoices. First, you can use supplier invoice history by clicking these options. Click options. After that, select invoice history. From here, we can view that supplier invoice history. Created date, user, date, and details you can view. If any user edited this document or supplier invoice, you can view that. And also we have added anticipated payment date. That details also will display here. I'll change the prices. After that, we'll open supplier invoice again. You can search by typing that supplier invoice here. Go to options. Okay, now you can see today we have edited this document. We have changed the prices from 16,000 to 17,000. Right, next, show user-defined fields. By clicking that user-defined fields, these user-defined fields will display. And if you want to enter additional details, you can enter here. You can enter 3 text fields and you can enter 3 date fields. And I think you can remember that you can change that user-defined fields from company settings. Go to company, change company settings, user-defined fields, document and transaction. These first 4 customer, supplier, items, and assets. It's for add user-defined fields for customer, supplier, and assets. If you want to add any document or transaction user-defined fields, you can select document and transactions. From here, supplier invoice, you can edit this label, user-defined field label, you can change from here. Right. You can enter that additional details here and you can save. Next, document attachment. If you want to attach any documents, you can attach from here by clicking this add attachment, and you can attach up to 2 MB and maximum 5 attachments. You'll attach 1 document. Right. Next, document notes. If you want to add any document notes, you can add from here. You can select action date and create it. You can type any note. And save. And this date, you can view that now if you want to pay before this 25th December, you can add a note. And after you complete this payment, you can tick as completed. Next, anticipated payment dates. Now, for this invoice, we can add an anticipated payment date. From here, we can add the date. Then it will display in the dashboard. Okay, next, we can create supplier return for this invoice by clicking this supplier return. Or if you want to enter return and re-invoice, you can return and re-invoice. And if you want to create any payment for this one, this invoice, you can click create payment. And if you want to copy this supplier invoice, now for an example, if you purchase same items in same quantities, in same prices, you can copy this invoice. And then no need to enter again, same invoice you can copy. Or else if you want to do any changes, you can do the changes in new invoice. Right, now we can save this invoice. And also if you have enter any if your supplier giving any credit period, if we are exceeding this credit period, when we are saving this document, system will display your credit limit will be exceeded. Would you like to continue? So if you want to continue, you can click yes, or if you want to discontinue, you can click no. Okay, we will continue this one by clicking yes. Right. Now you can see this color has changed, that document notes you can view, and anticipated payment date. You can view from here, and you can view if there's any document attachments. Right, like that, you can enter supplier invoices. Okay, now you can practice your supplier invoices, and please enter some action dates or anticipated payment dates, and you can practice how to attach documents and filter supplier invoice with those things you can practice. Okay, now you have purchased goods from your suppliers. Sometimes due to some issues, that damages in the goods or that items expired. So due to those reasons, sometimes you may return your goods back to your supplier. In that case, we can enter supplier return. Okay, by entering supplier return, we can return purchased goods back to the supplier. Go to suppliers, transactions, supplier returns. Now, when we enter supplier return, that supplier balance will reduce, and also our inventory will credit. Okay, supplier or trade payable will debit, and inventory credit. Okay, that's the journal entry in the system for supplier return. Okay, now we will enter supplier return. Go to suppliers, transactions, select supplier returns. From this screen, we can click add supplier return. Okay, now from here, we can select supplier. After we select the supplier name, system will display that supplier balance, outstanding, credit limit, and if you enter supplier details that such as tax number and postal address, it will display here. Next, we can select the date and we can enter supplier reference number. Okay. After that, we can select that returning goods. We can select the item and we can enter a returning quantity. After that, we can save this supplier return. Okay, like that, we can enter supplier return. Furthermore, in addition to this, there are few easy methods. First, we can go to supplier invoice list. And from here, we can directly convert that supplier invoice to supplier return. Okay, by clicking this action, we can create supplier return. Okay, then no need to enter that items again. It will automatically fill that supplier name, reference number, that invoice numbers, then items, quantities, prices, everything will fill by the system. Okay, we can save this supplier return. And if you want to change any items or item quantities, you can change when you are processing the transaction. Now, for an example, we have purchased 2 items and 25399, 2540. Now, assume we are returning only one item, we are returning only 2539, then we can remove other item, then system will return only this item. Okay, like that, we can go to invoice list and we can click actions and we can select enter create supplier return, then system will fill all details. And if you want to change that items or item quantities, you can change from this screen. There's another method. We'll enter that one. Go to suppliers, transactions, supplier returns, and click add supplier return. Select the supplier. After you select the supplier, from this from invoice, you can select which invoice you are going to return. Okay. Now, after you select the invoice, that the items in that invoice will display here. From here, you can enter supplier return. Here also, if you want to change item quantity or items, you can edit from here. Okay, returning, you can keep here returning items and quantities. After that, you can save. Okay, like that, you can enter supplier returns. In addition to that, if you have selected any analysis codes, you can select your analysis code here. Right, like that, you can create supplier returns. I'll repeat it again. You can enter now after you purchase your goods from your suppliers, sometimes you need to return due to some reason. In that case, you can use this supplier returns to enter that transaction. Go to suppliers, transactions, supplier returns, click add supplier return. You can select the supplier and you can select that items, returning items. Or you can select the supplier and if you want to add return goods from an invoice, you can select that invoice, or you can go to supplier invoices, and from here by clicking actions, select create supplier return, and you can convert that supplier invoice to supplier return. Okay, these methods you can use for enter supplier return. Okay, now you can enter supplier returns. After that, we can discuss other features in the supplier returns. Okay, please enter a couple of supplier returns and you can practice how to enter supplier returns. Okay, after you enter supplier returns, you can view your supplier returns grid. From here, you can view what are the supplier returns you have entered. And this grid also you can sort by clicking these headings. You can sort by ascending or descending order. You can view how many transactions or how many supplier returns you have entered here. And you can customize this grid. And you can download CSV file. And you can sort by multi-columns. And also you can filter. And you can search transactions. Like that, you can customize this supplier returns grid. Okay, next we will discuss this supplier returns options. First, now you can see now previous supplier invoice, we can edit that transaction. This one you cannot edit, and if you want to edit, by clicking this edit button, you can edit this transaction. Right, now you can edit these items or suppliers or transaction date, you can edit. And from these options you can view return history. Now here you can see edited after allocated. Next, user defined fields. If you want to enter any additional details, you can use these user defined fields. Next, document attachments. You can attach documents, can attach up to 5 attachments and up to 2 MB files you can attach. Next, document notes. From here, you can add document notes. Next, re-invoice. Now assume if you want to invoice this return again, you can use this re-invoice. And also if you want to copy same supplier return again, you can copy supplier return. Okay, now if you attach in the document notes, you can view from here. And like that, you can enter supplier returns. And also, if you enter any supplier return or any document note or anticipated payment dates, you can view from here. Now here you can view supply notes or supply document notes, you can view from here. And also supplier anticipated payments, you can view from the dashboard to-do list. And supplier notes, supplier document notes. Okay, like that, you can view that entered document notes or anticipated payment dates from the dashboard. Right, now you can practice this additional options in the supplier returns. Okay, now we have entered supplier invoice and we have entered supplier returns. Now we will move to supplier payments. Okay. You can enter supplier payments from suppliers, transactions, supplier payments. After that, you can click add supplier payment. From the supplier drop-down menu, you can select your supplier. And you can enter payment amount. Okay. And also you can select the payment method. You can select cash, check, credit card, or EFT. EFT is electronic fund transfer. So you can select the payment method here. And if you are paying by check, you can enter check number here. And also if you are paying by credit card, you can enter transaction reference number here. And from bank account, you can select the payment bank account. And also you can select the payment date. And if you want to add any notes to this transaction, you can enter under description or comments. You can enter a description or comment here. Now there are a few options. We'll enter the payment amount, and you can select what are the invoice you are settling from this payment. Okay, now we have entered 6,200. We can select these invoices we are going to pay. Okay, you can enter the payment amount and you can select what are the invoices you are going to pay. And also, if you select invoices, the total will display in the payment amount. Like this, if you want to change or if you are partially paid, you can edit the paid amount. Okay, from here you can select, and after you select, after you tick, that total will display in the payment amount. Right, now you can enter supplier payment. After that, we will discuss other options in the supplier payment. Okay, you can select, you can go to suppliers, transactions, supplier payments. After that, select the supplier name, and you can enter payment amount, and you can select payment method, bank account, and you can enter any reference number, check number, or credit card number. You can enter here. After that, you can select what are the invoices you are going to settle from this payment. After that, you can process, or you can directly email this document, or you can print this document. Right now, you can practice how to enter supplier payment.
So how to handle multiple payment methods, like one invoice in cash and maybe the rest of the invoices in checks, like that?
Yeah. Okay. In that case, actually, we need to enter in two payment vouchers. So from one payment, you can select multiple invoices. However, that from one payment method, you can select only one invoice. So I mean, from if you are using different payment method, you need to enter different transactions, different supplier payments. However, yeah, please continue.
Yeah, continue.
Yeah, from one payment, you can select multiple invoices. However, if you are doing using multiple payment method, you need to use each document for each transaction.
Okay. Then, sir, now we are using normal items, no, not the services, but normal items. We have, let's say now, batches or serial numbers. Do we have any methodology to handle those?
For payment vouchers?
No, not the payment. I mean, for the purchase orders and good receipts and all the stuff.
Okay. Yeah. Now, when you are entering supplier transactions, now purchase orders, it will create a document number from here. This is document number.
Yeah.
And you can set this document number from this company settings. You can go to document and statements, and from document numbers, you can set this document number. Now, for an example, if you are implementing the system for all company, you can continue that same number. For an example, purchase order, assume last purchase order is PO 0010, then you are continue this system PO 0011. So you can enter that PO 0011 here, then system will display that number and it will continue after that first purchase order. Only once you need to set here, after that system will continue the number.
Yeah, no, I was mentioning about the items. It's a particular item having multiple batches or maybe serial numbering.
Right. Okay. Actually, that serial number is not available here. However, when you are purchasing, you can enter that
For a particular item, right?
Item. Yeah, you can enter serial number here. Now you can click this one. After that, it will display here the additional line. You can enter that serial number here, and you can save.
Yeah, that's true. But let's say now, if you want to track how many available batches, batches are available, how many serial are left, like
from
that
here,
way, then of course it is not supported. Is it?
yeah, it's not supported. However, now if you enter supplier serial number, you can type here.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
That's
And
okay.
you can find, but you cannot track what are the serial numbers available and what are the serial numbers issued. You cannot track from here.
Then production, of course.
Production, actually,
Let's say for a particular company having production, production, then they produce the whole thing and they sell. Batch and serial number should be there because for a particular batch you are creating certain items.
Okay.
That of course that module aren't we discussing? No.
No, actually, manufacturing also not available. However, you can use this item adjustment. Now, for an example, you are doing production. Assume you are using raw materials. So that raw materials you can deduct from the system, and finished good you can add from the system. Now here you can reduce that raw materials and you can add your finished good from the inventory adjustment.
But in older Sage versions, now this is cloud version. No?
Cloud version, yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
However,
older Sage version, there was additional add-ons or modules that we can.
Yes. Sage 50 it is available. Serial number available in the server-based one.
We are not going to discuss that one, no?
Yeah, this is Sage Business Cloud Accounting. However, if you want, we can arrange a session for that, discuss that.
Yeah, we
Sage
can.
50.
It's better because that is that.
Yeah, understood. We can arrange a session for that one also.
Okay, right.
Okay. Okay. Right now, there's now a few additional things. Now, when we are doing supplier payments, now this supplier has different supplier outstanding invoice amount. Now, if you enter any amount here, it will automatically allocate it to oldest invoices. Okay, we'll enter again. When you enter amount, it will automatically allocated to oldest invoices. This is because now I think you can remember when we are creating suppliers, there's an option called auto allocated payments to oldest invoices. If you tick this option, when you are enter amount, any payment amount, system will automatically allocate it to oldest invoices. And if you want to allocate manually, you can untick this option, and also you can manually select what are the invoices you are going to settle. And also sometimes your suppliers will provide discounts for if you are paid early, or if you are settled by cash, supplier will provide discount. In that case, you can enter that discount amount here, and you can enter the balance amount. Like that, if your supplier providing additional discount, in addition to the supplier invoice, you can enter that early settlement discount or cash discounts. You can enter under discount column. Right. After you enter this supplier payment, you can print or you can process. If you want to print, you can print from here. And this is your supplier payment voucher. Furthermore, if you are using any analysis code like projects or jobs, then area department, you can enter that or you can select that analysis codes from here. And after that, you can view what are the transactions you have entered to this project or department. Okay, I'll quickly go through that department-wise profitability report. You can go to reports, financial statements, profit and loss. You can select the date range, and you can select this analysis code. Select the analysis code, and you can click view report. Now here I have select department. So each department wise profitability report you can generate. Okay, for that you need to create that analysis codes, and when you are entering transactions, you can select that analysis codes. Right, after you enter supplier payments, you can view that supplier payments here. You can customize this grid. If you want to add bank account or payment method, you can select from here, and you can sort by multi-columns. You can search or you can filter documents, and you can search transactions, and you can sort ascending or descending order. Okay, now you can practice these additional options. Okay, like that, you can enter your supplier payments, and we will move to analysis code next. Go to company, select analysis codes, and from here you can create 3 types of analysis codes, and for each analysis code you can create any number of analysis categories. Okay, now for an example, here we have created department, projects, or jobs and area. Now for an example, if your company has different departments or cost centers, you can create that analysis code. First, select analysis code in your system. Sometimes it may display as analysis code 1, analysis code 2, analysis code 3, and you can go to analysis code 1 and you can rename this analysis code 1 to department, project, or job. After that, you can add analysis categories from here. Now for an example, if you are creating department, you can enter department here and you can enter your company departments. You can type here, and if you want to add more, by clicking this plus mark, you can add. And also, if you are using any projects or jobs, you can select that analysis code 2 and you can rename that analysis code to project or job. After that, you can create your departments here, jobs or projects here. By clicking plus mark, you can add, or by clicking this red color minus button, you can delete that your analysis code. You can use 3 analysis categories and analysis codes, and you can create unlimited analysis categories. Okay. After you create, you can take this in use, then system will display this analysis code. After you create analysis code, you can link that analysis code to any transactions. For an example, you can link that analysis code to invoices, supplier invoices, payments. From here, you can view and you can link that analysis code. And also for bank transactions also, you can link that analysis code. And for journal entries. And if your journal entry doesn't have, you can click this customize grid button and you can tick these columns and you can activate your analysis codes. After you create analysis code, you can generate your reports, profit and loss report based on this analysis codes. Now, if your company has different branches, you can generate report. You can generate profit and loss report based on your branches. You can generate branch wise or department wise profitability report. And also, if you are using different jobs, you can view job wise profitability reports. Okay, now you can create few analysis codes and you can create analysis categories. Okay, from here, go to company, select analysis codes and select that analysis code, and you can rename that analysis code name, and you can enter analysis categories. Okay, please enter a few analysis codes and analysis categories. Okay, you can create analysis codes and analysis categories. After that, you will take a short break. We will start by 10:30. If you have any questions, you can ask. Okay, we'll start after the break. Now, you can enter supplier invoices and supplier payments from the system. And when you generate your supplier outstanding report, you can generate supplier outstanding report from suppliers reports, supplier balances days outstanding. From here, you can select all suppliers or range of suppliers. So you can select particular supplier. And you can select detailed or summary report, and you can view the report. Okay, from here, you can view your payments and your invoices. SIV is your invoices and PAY is your payments. And you have some adjustments or supplier returns also available here. Now, when you generate your supplier outstanding report, if you haven't allocated your supplier payments to supplier invoices, it will display separately that payments and invoices. Okay, now you can see there are minus values and plus values because this is because we haven't allocated our payments to invoices. And sometimes you pay advances before you enter the supplier invoice, or when you are entering supplier payments, you will forget to allocate your payments to invoices. In that case, when you generate supplier outstanding report, it will display separately your invoices and payment. So if you haven't allocated your payments to invoices, you can allocate it from this supplier allocate payments. Okay, you can go to suppliers transactions allocate payments. After that, you can select your supplier and click refresh. Now you can allocate your payments to invoices. You can just drag and drop that payment, then that payment will allocate to your invoice. Okay, like that, you can allocate your supplier payments to invoices. Okay. You can just drag and drop. When you drag, it will red color, and if you allocate to any invoice, that color will change from red to green. After that, you can drop that transaction. Okay, after that you can save. Then you can see now for this invoice, total invoice value is 17,280. I have allocated 5,000. Now due amount is 12,280, and previous one, its total is 8,100. I allocated 8,100 payment to this invoice, therefore due amount is 0. So this one, that receipts or payments will not display here, and you can allocate that payments to invoices. So left side it will display invoices, and right side it will display that returns, payments, or supplier adjustments. Okay. You can just drag and drop that payments to invoices. Okay, now you can practice these supplier allocations. Okay, now let's discuss advanced features in this allocate payments. Okay, first you can select supplier from this supplier drop down menu. After that, there's an option show outstanding only. If you tick this option, system will display only outstanding invoices. Okay, now we will untick this option and we will refresh again. So then all invoices and all invoices will display here. Now you can see some invoices has zero due amount. That means it is already allocated. Therefore, there's no outstanding. So because of we have unticked this option, untick show outstanding only, system will display all settled invoices also. Okay, again we will tick this and we will refresh. Now system will display only due amounts. Next, there are three display options. First one, all invoices. If you select all invoices, all outstanding invoices will display here. And if you untick, if you select invoices between, and if you provide a date range from date to date, system will display only that date range invoices. Okay, now you can see it's a display only 1st of February to 19th December. And if you want to view any specific number, you can type, you can select specific invoice number, and you can type that invoice number. Then system will display only that invoice. Right. Like that, you can view your invoices based on these options. Next, you can just click and drag and drop your invoices from your payments from right side to left side, then it will allocate and due amount will zero. And also if you have receipts from one payment, you are paying more than one invoice, you can drag and drop here. Now first we will allocate to this 17,280, then this due amount will zero, and from this 50,700 280 reduce from this payment, and again we can drag and drop to this invoice invoice due amount becomes to zero, and this payment unused value reduced to 24,620. Like that, we can drag and drop one payment to many invoices. And assume sometimes by mistake you have allocated to incorrect invoice, you can again drag and drop to right side, then it will unallocate. Okay, you can allocate one payment to more than one invoice, and also from you can allocate more payments to one invoice. Okay, now we have 300 payments you can allocate to this invoice. Like that, you can allocate one payment to more than one invoice, or you can allocate more invoices to one invoice. Okay, more payments to one invoice. Next, there's option split unallocated item amount. Now, if you take this option, and if you want to allocate to invoice particular amount, now previously when we allocate this 5,000, we cannot enter how much we want to select allocate for this invoice. Now, for an example, from this 50,000, we want to allocate 10,000 for this third invoice and 8,000 for fourth invoice, and balance for this sixth invoice. Okay, in that case, we cannot allocate from like this, we cannot allocate. So therefore, we will use this split unallocated item amount. Now, if you tick this option and we will drag and drop to this invoice, system will ask, please enter that allocate amount. Now, first 17,280 invoice, we will allocate 10,000. Now you can see total invoice value is 17,280. Due amount is 7,280. Like that, if you select or if you take this split unallocated item amount, we can allocate specific amount to particular invoice. Okay, now if you want to allocate 5,000 for this 8,100 invoice, we can drag and drop. System will ask, please enter value. You can enter 5,000 here. Then you can see invoice total is 8,100. Due amount is 3,100. Okay, we have settled 5,000. Like that, we can split our payment amount. Right, now you can practice these options, show outstanding only, and you can practice this split unallocated item amount. If you have any questions, please ask. Okay, you can enter or you can allocate your payments like this, especially if you have entered supplier advances, supplier advance payment, or when you are entering supplier payments, if you cannot or if you couldn't allocate your payments to invoices, you can use this allocate payments, and from here you can allocate your payments to unallocated invoices. Okay, first you need to select the supplier. After that, you can select or you can tick show outstanding only, and from these three display options you can select all invoices, invoice between, or specific invoice number. If you select all invoices, you can view all invoices, and if you select invoices between, you can select a date range, and if you select specific invoice number, you can select a specific invoice number, and you can drag and drop your unallocated payments to invoices, and if you mistakenly allocate any payment, you can drag and drop to right side again, then it will unallocate. And also if you use this split unallocated item amount, you can allocate specific amount from the supplier payment. Okay, after you enter, you can save. Then when you generate your supplier outstanding report, that allocated amount will not display. Okay, these plus minus ones will not display here. We'll allocate this. And we will save. Now we have 8,100. Now that 8,100 will not display. Okay, like that. If you want, you can allocate. Then when you generate that outstanding report, it will display exactly outstanding invoices. Now, if you haven't allocated, it will display both invoice and payments. Therefore, it's better before generate your outstanding report, allocate your payments and receipts. Right, you can practice this supplier outstanding report and supplier allocation now. Okay, you can allocate your supplier payments to invoices, and when you generate your supplier outstanding report, it will deduct your supplier invoice and supplier payment. And if you haven't allocated your supplier payments to invoices, system will display lengthy report. Therefore, it's better if you can allocate your payments to invoices. Right. Next, we will move to supply adjustments. From this supplier adjustment, we can increase or decrease our supplier balances. Okay, or sometimes if you have entered incorrect transactions to suppliers, we can adjust that supplier balances from this supplier adjustment. Okay, we can go to suppliers transaction, select supplier adjustment. After that, we can click add supplier adjustment. From here, we can select our supplier, and after we select the supplier, system will display supplier balance, and from this effect, we can select increase or decrease. So if we want to increase the supplier balance, we can select supplier increase from the effect, and if you want to decrease supplier balance, you can select decrease from the effect. Again, assume we want to increase supplier balance, and next we can select tax type, and we can select for which account. Now, if we increase or decrease our supplier balance, what is the other account we want to transfer that entry. Now, for an example, we select advertising, then we can enter reference number, and from exclusive amount, we can enter the increase or decrease value. Then if it is tax available, system will calculate total, and here we can enter description and comments and date. Okay, now from supply adjustment, we can increase or decrease supply balance, and here we can enter increasing or decrease amount, and here we can select the affecting account. Now for an example, if you have entered that transport or advertising expense to transport, so we can adjust from supplier adjustment that correct account. Okay. Therefore, we can select advertising, and we can enter amount, and we can process this supplier adjustment. And if you want to decrease the supplier balance, you can enter the supplier amount, that adjustment amount. If you select decrease, system will display outstanding invoices. Okay, from here you can select what is the invoice you are going to allocate, and you can process. Okay, like that you can create supplier adjustment. You can increase or decrease supplier balances. Okay, now you can enter supplier adjustment. Go to suppliers transaction and supplier adjustment. Okay, now we have completed supplier transactions. Next, we will move to supplier reports. Okay, first report is the list of suppliers. From here, we can view our list of suppliers. We can select supplier, or we can select range of suppliers, or if you don't select any supplier, system will display all suppliers. And from active, we can select active, inactive, or both suppliers. From category, now if you have categorized your suppliers, or if you have grouped your suppliers, you can select that particular group and you can view the report. After that, you can click this view report. Then system will display your list of suppliers. System will display supplier name, category, whether that supply is active or not, contact person name, telephone number, and balance. And if you have foreign suppliers, system will display balance in supplier's currency. Next, this report has a few options. If you want to view that user-defined fields, you can take this option and you can view. Then system will display with user-defined fields. Furthermore, if you want to view detailed report, you can select this detail from this style and view report. Then system will display that contact details also. Physical address, postal address, fax, mobile, email, credit limit. Those details also will display in the report. Next report, purchases by supplier. From here, you can view what are the purchases you made with suppliers. Okay, you can select suppliers here, and you can select active or inactive suppliers. You can select supplier category. And from this report options, you can select date range. You can select monthly, quarterly, yearly, month to date, quarter to date, year to date, last month, last quarter, last year, custom date, or all. Now, if you select monthly, system will display current month, that is 1st December to 31st December, and you can view the report. And here include supplier returns. If you want to add supplier returns, you can tick this option. And from style, you can select summary or detailed report. First, we will select summary. System will display this supplier we have purchased, this date, the invoice number, quantity, and purchase amounts. And each supplier, you can view the total, and grand total also you can view. Next, we will generate a detailed report. The suppliers transactions, suppliers reports, purchases by supplier. Here we will select detail. Then system will display with that items. Now here it's display only transaction date, transaction number, quantity, and amount. However, here system will display that item description also. Here also you can view the grand total. Right, now you can practice these two reports, list of suppliers and purchases by supplier. You can change the options and you can practice the report. Okay, next we will move to supplier balances outstanding report. From this report, you can view supplier outstanding. Okay, we can run this report as a date, and we can select suppliers, supplier range, or all suppliers. If you don't select any supplier, system will display all suppliers. And from category, you can select supplier categories. If you have any group, supplier group, you can select that group and you can view the report. After that, click view report. Then system will display the your outstanding amount. This is custom supplier. Then system will display each buckets 120 plus days, 90 days, 60 days, 30 days, current period and total due. Okay, and system will display these details. And if you select and also from here you can select active or inactive suppliers or both suppliers. And also from style you can select summary or detail. Now previously we have generated summary report. Now we will display detail report. If you select detail, system will display detail report, and each supplier outstanding invoices or outstanding transaction will display. Okay, now first supplier, it's a invoice 100 and second invoice 2500. System has that supplier has payment 2600. So we haven't allocated that payment, therefore system will display both invoices and supplier payments. Okay. If you select detail, system will display detailed outstanding transaction. Right. Next, exclude supplier with zero balances. We will duplicate this tab and we will run this report. Go to show report options, and if you take this option, exclude suppliers with zero balances. Now first supplier has zero balance. We will select that and we will refresh. Now that zero balance suppliers will not display. That means if we haven't allocated any payments to suppliers, that supplier balance is zero. Those zero balance suppliers will not display. Next, use foreign currency. If you tick this option, system will display that outstanding in supplier's currency. Now first supplier's currency is AED. You can see that supplier's currency will display, outstanding will display in supplier's currency. There are LKR suppliers, dollar suppliers, like that. If you tick this option, system will display outstanding in supplier's currency. Okay, if you untick this option and refresh, then system will display all suppliers outstanding in home currency or LKR. And one important thing, if you generate this report with ticking this use foreign currency, if you tick this option, you cannot view grand total. However, if you untick this option, use foreign currency, you can view the grand total. Okay, because if you have different currencies, system cannot get the total. Therefore, if you untick this option, use foreign currency tick, system will display grand total. Right, now you can generate this supplier outstanding report. For practice purpose, you can create different customers in different currencies, and you can enter transactions, and you can check this report. Okay, next we will move to supplier's statement report. From this supplier statement report, we can generate supplier transaction. Okay, you can select suppliers, you can select active or inactive suppliers, and you can select supplier categories. And from report options, you can select date range. You can select monthly, quarterly, yearly, or if you select custom date, you can select any date range. And if you select all, system will display all date range transactions. And there are a few options. Show balance brought forward. If you select show balance brought forward, system will display balance brought forward. Okay, system will display balance brought forward. If not, system will display previous transactions also. Next, if you want to exclude fully allocated transaction, that zero balance transaction, you can take this option, then those transactions will not display. And if you take this use foreign currency, system will display that statement in supplier's currency. And next, exclude suppliers where balances zero or negative balances, or if a supplier has now if you take this less than and if you enter any amount, system will not display supplier balance less than 2,500. After that, we can generate the report, then system will display that supplier statement report. Okay, and also in this supplier statement report, you can view date, number of pages, supplier address, our company address, and that transactions age bucket also you can view from this supplier statement. Okay, now you can generate this supplier statement report. Okay, if you have any questions in today's sessions, you can ask.
Sir, this course, of course, what is the possible end date for this?
Indeed, we can complete in 7 sessions. Means
Okay.
so from 7 weeks, we can cover this course.
Okay, right.
Okay, then we will wrap up for today. Next session, we will start from supplier transactions report. Okay, thank you very much. Have a nice weekend.